Namaste, beloved community. I am so glad that you are here on this very first day of December, the very last day of 2021, as we get ready to prepare for 2022, which is going to be a massive year. Are you ready to transform your life? Are you ready to accept greater abundance and prosperity in all areas of your life? Right now, the energies are aligned to help you release what no longer serves you. We have a culminating solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius on Saturday with the new moon. And this is a time of completion. This cycle of the Sagittarius Gemini axle of eclipses is coming to a conclusion, which is supporting you to release what no longer serves, to make major changes in your life if you choose to, but really release what no longer serves. And that includes beliefs that you have, habits, patterns, attracting those dysfunctional, negative relationships. Right now is supporting you to make those huge changes in your life. The planets are all in alignment for you to end a cycle and begin something new. And it's a perfect time because it's coming towards the end of the year, right? We just have one more month left in 2021. And what are you going to manifest? What are you going to create moving forward with all the energies that are being supported within the planets? I am so excited because it's going to be a massive year. And if you need help, if you want more information, there are some great questions that Sri and Kira posted on that they talked about Monday night on their Monday Magic show. Jess talked about it on her show yesterday, Jess Jutman. So go check out both of those, or just go to shriandkira.com and check them out and look and see what those questions are. But they're really good questions to reflect on 2021 and to look forward towards 2022, asking you, are you ready to commit to your spirituality involvement? Are you ready to commit to your mastery? Are you ready to do what it takes to create the life of your dreams? Because right now, and the energies and the planet alignments going forward are supporting that. Now you can choose not to do any of that. Absolutely. We all have free will. It's a choice. Our lives are a choice. Our lives are a culmination of choices that we have made consciously and unconsciously. So I challenge you to be more conscious, be more mindful about your thoughts, about the choices that you make, about the activities that you put your time and energy in, and really ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this helping me to get where I want to go? Is this helping me get to accomplish my dreams? Right now, it's a great time to make sure and do some sort of ceremony on Saturday. And if you don't have one, there's lots of them on YouTube, but Jess Jutman offers one Saturday night, and she's fantastic. But do some sort of ceremony, write down the things that you want to release, and then rip them up, burn them, put it in water, whatever. Get that invisible dissolving paper that I have that I talked about before. Release what no longer serves you. Do some sort of ceremony, look into a candle, take a nice bath, and gaze at a candle and imagine all of those things that you want to release just going away. It is here to serve you. Hello, Angel. We're so excited that you're here too. So with that, I want to bring on my incredible guest, who I had the incredible honor of knowing and have met several months ago, but have been to her restaurant several times before I became good friends with her. And her restaurant is incredible. It's healthy. Most of it is vegan, not all. She does offer some other things, but it's organic and clean and fantastic things that she offers. And so I want to bring on Nicole Griffith to talk about, she is the founder, CEO, and just a creative force for Well Paired, which is located in Billings, Montana. She has two locations, one downtown and one on the west end in Billings, Montana. But she just has such vast knowledge. So let's bring her on to share some of that with us today. Welcome, Nicole.
Hi, Dawna. Hi, everyone here.
So glad you're here.
Me too. Thank you for having me. This is great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. So whenever you are seeing this video, whether it's live or as a replay, it is the right time for you to be here. And you will be so glad that you tuned in to hear what this beautiful woman has to say and some of the knowledge that she's going to share with us today.
Thank you.
Let's start with, how did you get started with creating Well Paired?
Yeah, that is a question I get asked a lot. So
I'm sure.
I ended up in the position I am now with just having my own struggles of eating healthy, of following like proper nutrition, of having access to local foods like fruits, vegetables, just really easy, simple, healthy food. I was at college at the time, and so convenience was a really big factor, as was affordability. And so the need and the idea kind of came from just my own struggles in that. We initially started as a food truck with no intentions of opening restaurants and kind of going down this whole path. But the people that I was with in the business at the time were having so much fun. And so we just kept growing and kept building the company. And we've now got 2 locations in Billings. We no longer do the food truck. So I just have 2 brick and mortar restaurants, and then plans to expand and license within the next couple months. So we'll be hopefully in all sorts of states across the mountain US.
Yay.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have you come to Boise.
I would love that.
Yeah, Boise would be a great place. And I'm sure there's others. And I know one of the things, I love coming in and getting a wheatgrass shot. Those are so, I feel like I get like this burst of energy from the wheatgrass. But what other like shot juice things that you offer do you find really popular, and do you get feedback from people that it's like boosts their energy, makes them feel better, any of those things? Because I know you offer others.
We do, yeah. So the wheatgrass specifically is one little 2.5, 2 ounce shot of wheatgrass that's just juiced straight from the plant is equivalent to eating about 5 pounds of dark leafy greens. So your broccoli and cruciferous greens like kale and chards. And so you're getting so many phytonutrients and nutrients, minerals in that one wheatgrass shot, which is why you get that crazy great boost of energy. And I think it tastes a little bit like sweetgrass, like it's a little sweet, but also grassy. So that's a great one. We also have a few like just energy boosting ingredients that you could put into anything. So whether those are fruits and vegetables like beets, ginger, turmeric, even things like chia, flaxseed, bee pollen, we can do those things as well. Or you can just have that real whole natural food, and that's going to help kind of boost that energy as well too. So your body thrives on what you put into it. So we can add ingredients into it, or we can just kind of offer what we already have on the menu. But we have stuff for everything from energy to bloating and migraines to, just fogginess and feeling, moody, all the things. So there's usually an ingredient of some kind that we can offer help with along the way.
So I want to backtrack just a moment, because you mentioned that you were struggling with eating. Can you expand a little bit on that? Because I know that so many people struggle with things to eat and reactions to and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So my struggle was more towards having options that fit what I thought at the time or what I knew to be healthy. My degree and background is in exercise science, and so that background had taught me a decent amount of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, caloric intake, when I should be eating, all of the basic stuff, but nothing more than that. So even in that option, it was still really hard to find healthy food that fit kind of that macro big picture. When I started to get into what I do now and being with Well Paired and focusing more on the nutrients specifically that we're eating and when we're eating them and how we're consuming them and, kind of what ingredients we're putting with them, that's where I really started to notice that food is fuel for your body. And the more that you can focus on the fuel that you're putting into it, the better outcome you're going to have, whether that's performance or energy, focus, sleeping at night. So we focus on that component of it by making sure that we eliminate ingredients that aren't good for you. So we have a huge list of no's, what we call them our no list, that include artificial flavors, sweetenings, preservatives, artificial colors, and then a ton of things that are all included in that, whether those are sucralose and fructose to, preservatives that we don't need to, just all sorts of things in that list. So really it's just making sure that what we're putting into our body is something we can pronounce, that we know how our body digests, and that it's going to be beneficial. And that's what we focus on for our menus and the products that we sell as well.
Yes, yes. Well, Pauline was just asking, people who handle food or the space of the restaurant, is it enhanced energy? And I think that, I mean, I've been to Nicole's restaurant, so I can say that, yeah, there is a very positive energy feel in her restaurant. And I think whenever you're primarily serving fresh fruits and vegetables, you're going to have a higher vibration. You're going to have higher energy feeling in that space because you're not having all those preservatives that you just listed in your space. And so you're not going to have this lower vibration energy in your restaurant itself. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. And we incorporate natural light and lots of plants for those same purposes of, we want to feel alive and feel connected to the food that we're eating and the food that we're preparing. And the people that come to that space, we want them to feel that same groundedness to the environment in which our food grows. So we use a mix of light and plants and then real ingredients on top of it to help too.
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a great space. You'll have to go to Billings sometime, Pauline, and check it out. And on that, I just wanted to remind people that are watching that know of Sri and Kara, they just were talking. This is perfect timing to have Nicole on because they were just talking about how this next year we need to focus on eating more light. We're light beings. We're light. We're spiritual light beings in a physical body, and our body operates off of light. Which is why this natural sunlight is so good for our cells, and it helps our body produce vitamin D and so on. And so it's important that we are eating more light, which is fruits and vegetables, which is primarily what you offer at your place. And so I know for me, my favorite salad is the maple beet salad that you offer. And that is so good. And the combination of things that you put in there, I like the yellow beets anyway. Those are the golden beets are my favorite anyway from beets. But yeah.
Oh, so I love that. And I love the focus on eating light too, just to not to repeat that, but I think we so often eat a meal thinking we need to feel full and we need to feel this saturated component where we're not craving something more. But in that is where our food coma comes from, or we get that bogged down feeling of needing a nap or low energy. And so we do like to, offer those lighter foods and offer menu items that aren't so big that when you get done eating, you're going to feel the energy of it because it it's supposed to carry you on and give you that fuel versus make you tired from a really heavy meal. So I think that's a great thing to focus on, of not only eating light, but feeling light after you eat.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, granted, you might feel a little bit tired just because your blood rushes to the stomach to help it with the digestion, but that should last just a brief amount of time. And you shouldn't get like this afternoon slump where, yeah, you're low on energy because you ate a bunch of food that your body's really struggling to process and digest. When you eat or drink a smoothie or fresh juice, or you eat a salad, or you eat light food, uh, you should feel more energized afterwards. And I mean, I know I do. That's just like we were talking about the wheatgrass shot. You just flooded your cells with all this fantastic nutrients, and so yeah, you're going to feel that boost of energy. And yeah, I agree with what you said. I think it's important to eat light to maintain our energy and throughout the day. Now, you also make it really easy for people. They can call in an order. They can do order ahead and come pick up. You offer combination specials that are really easy for people to get to take, and you have juices already ready for people. Let's talk a little bit about the juices. What have you found is the most popular juice or juice blend that you offer at your place?
Yeah. And even just to hit too on why it's convenient and why we try to make that easy, of like how you order, how you get it, is kind of where that struggle came from, of, you can eat healthy, but we had to cook it all, or you had to go home and juice yourself, or, know all the ingredients you had to put in. So we really do try to take that process out of it by making it really easy for you to order however you want to, but then also you can eat healthy without having to cook it yourself. And I'd say our most popular juices kind of vary on year, on what's seasonal, but the detoxed has always been a staple year-round favorite by people. That one has red beet, carrot, red beet, carrot, ginger, apple, and carrot. So that one it's called the detox because red beets themselves are a great oxidative ingredient. So they don't only dilate your blood vessels to where they make them bigger, so it's easier for you to get more air into them. They also are a great antioxidant, meaning they attach to extra oxygen in your body, taking out those toxins. So people love that one, and ginger does those same health benefits. And then the carrot and apple take away from that like bitter earthiness from the beet. So it's a really good mix, and we find that most people that don't like beets still love that juice. And then I'd say anything that's green is usually a really popular item too. So we have a couple that have, spinach and kale and parsley and celery, and those couple menu items are also really, really popular year round.
Yes. And it's really nice, especially as we're getting more closer and closer to the holidays. I mean, yes, we just had Thanksgiving, but as people are out shopping a lot, they're out and about. It's nice that you offer that convenience where people can come in and say that they know they're going to a cocktail party, go in and get a shot of wheatgrass and help kind of prevent by taking in all those nutrients before you go and maybe have a drink at a cocktail party, or have some things that maybe you don't normally eat. It's a little bit of protection. Not that it's not going to stop you from absorbing those calories,
Right.
but having kind of that protection of flushing your cells with that, like wheatgrass first, before you then go, that makes a difference.
It does. And even if you're sick, maybe it's not just hangover, or it's a flu, or it's prepping for flu and cold season. Like, it's not going to 100% protect you from it, but it is the best thing that you can be doing to help prevent the after effects, whether that's the hangover and being really tired, or it's being sick and in bed for a few days. We just swear by it. And, the people that we have in the customer base that we have do too, of these ingredients of lemon and ginger and turmeric that are in these juices they're helping combat whatever is on the other side of that, whether it's the toxins from what we're eating and drinking this time of year, or the germs that we're being exposed to right now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point, Nicole.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. You want to again, it's protecting your immune system or boosting your immune system, because our immune system tends to get run down in during the holidays, because we're going, every which way and around a lot more people typically, and around family and work, coworkers at different functions, going to different parties and so on. That you're then exposed to a lot more possible infections and catching colds or whatever, and so, yeah, having that preventative and it helps just eating food, like from light food from your restaurant, but also doing the juicing is so beneficial.
Absolutely.
And I would like to talk a little bit about, because January is it's a month away. And a lot of times people are like, okay, I'm going to go on a diet. It's time to detox, time to, right? January 1, they want to start. So let's talk about juicing. And share why would somebody want to do a juice cleanse, for instance, or go on just juice for 3, 5, 7 days?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have a couple cleanse options that we offer outside of just our regular juice menu. We have one that's called 5 Before 5, which is a mini juice cleanse, I'd consider it. It's green juices, but it's only 8 ounces and there's 5 of them, and you still get to eat like a light vegetable based meal during that day. So you're not just on all liquids. And then we also have a regular full juice cleanse that's 16-ounce juices, and that one's intended to just be juice and water all day long. And either one of those you could do for 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10, however many days that really you wanted. I'd say our most popular timelines are like the 3 to 5 days. So the point of doing that really depends on each person and what they're going through. But I think the more common reasons are for like fatigue and just a little bit of brain fog and not feeling as good as you can feel. And so wanting to help your body just feel more optimal. I use it a lot during this time to kick cravings or like bad habits. So if I've gotten into too much sugar or I'm drinking too much coffee, a cleanse really helps offset those cravings and gets me out of that 3-day, 5-day mental craving. So then when I am off it, I no longer go back to what that was. So I'd say those are probably the 2 biggest ones, just wanting to feel better, look better, have less bloating, and then the kicking cravings or changing a habit. Or even if you get stuck in like a diet pattern, or you're stuck in your programming with your nutritionist or your physical or personal trainer, you can kind of use that cleanse to jumpstart your metabolism and kick you into a different area. But the benefits are a couple different things. One, it really helps you realize how much we think about food on a daily basis and how quickly that mental pattern can break and we can shift it. So it allows just a more observing thought of, why am I thinking about food this much? It also flushes your system with so many vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. Both have been nutritionally designed to hit what we need at specific times during the day. So, at that 10 a.m. mark, there's a little bit of a lull in metabolism. And at that 2 p.m. mark, we know that for most people, there's a little bit of a lull in energy. And so we have components in those drinks that you would have during that timeline to help with that. So they've been designed to help us go all day long. And then each juice is packed full of like 3 to 5 pounds of fruits and vegetables. So you can imagine the nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that you're getting in each and every one of them.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So do you ship any around the US at all?
We
Those
don't.
no.
No. We can make them locally and we can order ahead and prepare for people, but we don't pasteurize our juices, which is a heat process that would allow them to have a longer shelf life. It keeps the bacteria more stable, the pH a little bit better, but we don't pasteurize our juices. So we can't unfortunately ship, but I think they're a great option if people want to look into doing one in their own city. There's
Right.
juice bars all over. You can buy them online. So I highly recommend a cleanse if you're going and needing something just to help you, especially during this time or January.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, Angela said I use a cleanse to help me get over cravings, like you mentioned,
Mm,
Nicole. When I am first trying to get over not eating healthy for a while,
yeah.
usually lots of water and juice for at least 3 days. Yeah, I think like Nicole said, 3 days seems to be a really popular amount of time for people to do. I mean, I know people that have done it longer than that, but I think 3 days is a really good time to just kind of take a break
Mhm.
from whatever you've been doing, and
Mhm.
to me it's kind of like a reset
Yep.
of my body, and it just having that juice is easier for my body to absorb and metabolize, and it kind of gives the liver a break. It gives the gives your organs a little bit of a break because they're not having to work so hard on breaking down all the foods and everything else. And then if there's chemicals and preservatives and all that kind of stuff, or sugar, of
Mhm.
course, then it's giving your body a break from those toxins.
Yep.
And I know every time I've done them, it's that brain fog. Not that I have a lot of brain fog, but you do a 3-day cleanse and you're like, wow, everything's really clear.
Yeah. You
You
sleep a little better, you feel a little bit more rejuvenated, but I think you're right, that 3-day mark and describing it as a reset is just the perfect word for it too. Like Angel mentioned, it's it just gives your system a break, just a teeny tiny break, and your body knows exactly what to do with fruits and vegetables. There's no extra work. It doesn't even have to determine if it's a carb, a fat, or a protein. Like it just uses the energy in, energy out, and you can really focus on any other area that your body needs a little bit of extra love and attention.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes, exactly. And I just think that, especially if you are struggling with anything, not that any of us are trying to give any sort of medical advice, we're not,
Yeah.
just sharing what we've experienced, what we've witnessed, all that kind of stuff. But I know, and it only makes sense because fruits and vegetables are alkalizing foods,
Mhm.
that if you are juicing with fruits and vegetables and you are not putting in um, lower vibrational foods and highly acidic foods, which is what a lot of other foods are, that you're going to reduce inflammation. You're going to feel better if you have a autoimmune disease or disorder, if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, if you have pain from inflammation. Doing a juice cleanse is a great thing to support your body as far as helping to reduce and to rebalance, as from a acid alkaline standpoint
Mhm.
in the body.
Absolutely. Yeah, and even if you just go to hydration too, and you think of how dehydrated most of us are, just
Mhm.
the juices alone are a ton of water and fluid, and then you're still going to drink water on top of that, which
Mhm.
would normalize the sodium potassium pump that we all have that regulates water and bloat. So, you're balancing that and you're balancing other components in your body as well.
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
which is so important. Water, as you know, I talk a lot about water and how it's so important to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water, whether you're doing a juice cleanse or not, just on a day-to-day basis. Drinking a lot of water is so very important for our cells. And we have 17 trillion cells. They all need water. They all need light, electricity, energy. They're energetic things. So
Mm.
it's important that what we're putting in is good. It's quality. I'd like to think of our bodies are kind of like cars, only we don't have sensors that say you need to eat more spinach because you need more calcium, or you need to eat more um, broccoli, or you need to eat more carrots because you need more vitamin A, or whatever, whatever it is. We don't have a sensors like a car does, but it's still that same thing of quality in, quality out. You're not going to go pour corn syrup in your car and think it's going to run, right?
Right. Yeah, and what a cleanse can even help with too in that is when you go back to food, you'll notice the difference of what feels really good, what's easy to digest, what makes me, a little bit more tired or bogs me down versus what makes me feel really good. So if you can step away from even just that little 3 days feeling better, but then take that information that your body's going to give you right away, that immediate feedback loop, and use that information, you're really going to be able to make a difference of what you need and how you feel your body.
Definitely. That's a really good point. That gets back to that mindfulness of, being mindful. So many people just mindlessly eat, and they're not paying attention to how it impacts their body, how it makes their body feel, like you just shared. So yeah, absolutely. If you're one of those people that just mindlessly eat things and don't pay attention to how your body feels, I challenge you, make 2020, well, start now, but make 2022 the year that you really get in touch with your body and practice mindful eating, and see, write down after you eat, how did I feel? How did you feel? Did you feel tired? Did you feel energized? Did you feel bloated? Did you feel, whatever? Write it down, because you might be surprised that maybe there's something that you're eating that is causing inflammation inside your body and maybe you have arthritis and making it worse. It can be something simple as that. And yeah, it's something to pay attention to, and really tap into the foods that you eat. Start with the gratitude. Be grateful to the plants for being there for you to, to sustain your body. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we think of eliminating stuff being this big to do, and elimination diets of, well, I don't maybe necessarily even know where to start. And that can be a hard place to figure out what's going to make you feel better, what you need to change. But you're right, you could just start with writing it down. Just one little thing of, when I ate this, this is how I felt, and then connect the dots later and figure that out from, that standpoint, because it can be a lot and overwhelming to figure out how to eat healthy and what you need to eat for your body, because we are all different. And we're all going to be eating at different times and in different combinations and different settings. And so if you can just start recognizing what you're noticing each meal, you'll be able to figure out things a little bit, better along the way too.
Absolutely. And kind of back to one of the questions that Pauline had asked about, it's also important to go into a place that has a positive environment, like what you've set up at your restaurants, with the natural light and with the plants. So it has a calming feel when people walk in. They don't feel this angst. They don't feel like people have just been fighting behind the counter. They don't feel that. And that makes a difference, because it's all energy. We're your energy, you're putting out energy. I'm energy, everybody's energy, and you can feel people's energy, right? And we can feel the food's energy. And so making sure that you are eating in a setting, that's why they recommend not eating in front of the TV, because depending on what you're watching, it can be something that's going to be upsetting energetically, and that can interfere with your food absorption, digestion, and just, you getting those proper nutrients in general.
Right. Yeah. And if we're not being aware of, in the moment, then we're just going to eat more than we need to, or like you said, just take in the energy that we don't need to. So yeah, that's a really good point of just being aware of where you're at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And making sure that, you're taking time for you because you matter. Take time to sit down, to enjoy, to, savor that bite. And, that's one of the things I like about your maple beet salad is there's so many different flavors in there. So
Mm-hmm.
you take a bite of and and really savor all the different flavor combinations that are in that meal that you're having. And so many times people just scarf it down.
Yeah.
And no wonder then they're still hungry, or no wonder they are not satisfied with what they just ate because they didn't take the time to savor it,
Right.
to enjoy it. Even if you're having, a smoothie that you're drinking, take some in your mouth and feel the different nuances of what's in that smoothie.
Mm.
When we are focused, when we are mindful of what we're putting in our body, then we're going to be a lot more satisfied with what we just consumed when we are able to really savor it and,
Right.
appreciate it. I believe.
No, I totally agree. And I think our society makes it really hard to take the time to cook our food and to really enjoy it. And so finding places like mine or places in
Yes.
your own city where the people that are there make the ingredients, we're making our own salad dressings, we're making our own croutons, we're making all of the ingredients that go into these items so that you don't have to. And
Mhm.
we're enjoying that process along the way, of course, but it allows you to enjoy something that's good for you without having to take the time to cook it, so you can just feel the difference in your body too. And I think, that's the biggest reason of why I started the company, was knowing that I didn't have the time to cook and make everything and then still be as busy and living the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So finding places like that that can support you along the way are going to exponentially help.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did want to, and sorry, we're kind of jumping around, but that's me.
That's great.
I did want to ask you one question about juicing, about
Yeah.
doing like a cleanse, and that
Yeah.
is, what would you say the benefits of doing like a 1 day versus a 3 day versus a 5 day
Mhm.
versus a 7 day or 10 day you even mentioned, what would be the different benefits or even reasons why somebody would want to do a variety, do the
Right.
longer or shorter?
Yeah. I think the simplest way to describe the benefit would be just the longer the duration, the deeper the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So the 1 day is going to be a quick recognition. You're still going to probably feel really hydrated because you're going to be drinking a lot more fluid than most of us do.
Mm-hmm.
A 3 day is going to be challenging. So it's going to focus on not only the physical taking away of food, but also that mental block of how much you're thinking about food and why, it'll address a little bit more of the deeper psychological components of it. And that challenge is really good for us because it does make us think about other things, and our body then has to focus its attention elsewhere as well. A 5 and a 7 and a 10 day are just going to be prolonged benefits of the 3 day. It'll be, I think the 5 day is where it actually doesn't become that mentally challenging anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing the durations that I've gone, it's that, 3, 4 mark that I stop thinking about food so much. And by 5 days, I start to just feel deeper and deeper benefits. But
Mm-hmm.
every day you're getting all of those nutrients, and every day you're drinking that much liquid and juice. So the benefits to your cells and the rest of your body are just deeper and deeper. And then when you come off of the cleanse, the longer that you've gone, the more prolonged those effects are as well. So you feel more energy longer, you feel lighter longer, you recognize the differences in what you're eating longer. It kind of mirrors each other on both ends, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, that's a great description and explanation of the different benefits. And yeah, I usually found that after like 2 days, then I wasn't so obsessed about food and not eating
Mm-hmm.
food. It usually took about 2 days, and then by the third day, I was like, huh, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I can do this. Yeah.
I don't need to
Mhm.
eat a
Right.
big
And
meal.
there are negative effects too. And I don't
Mhm.
want people to just think that it's a great feeling no matter what. I mean,
Right.
if we're eating and used to eating a lot of sugar or consuming a lot of caffeine, there are downfalls to taking that out that we have to overcome too. So,
Right.
migraines and headaches, eliminating caffeine are not uncommon. And usually that's why I would do a cleanse I've had too much caffeine in my system and I know it and I want to come off of it. So I eliminate it and I deal with the headaches that come from it. So it's
Mhm.
not all always good. There are
Right.
other
Right.
components to a cleanse that you will feel that aren't as enjoyable, but the overall feeling should be beneficial and you should feel better on the other end of it no matter what.
Right. Yes. And going through it, you can have detox symptoms, which are headaches, like you said, and sometimes
Mhm.
people can have body aches, and it can feel
Mhm.
like you got a really deep tissue massage.
Mhm.
After you have a deep tissue massage, you're kind of sore, kind of achy, almost flu-like. Like the beginning stages of that, and that can happen with a detox. Whatever you're doing, and as with anything, if you have a medical condition, you should check with your doctor before you do any sort of cleanse,
Mhm.
because you might have some condition that we don't know about. And again, we're not providing any medical advice. It's just giving some great information on the benefits of cleansing, and some of the benefits of eating a more vegetable fruit and vegetable based diet, the light food that is infusing more light and living enzymes into your body, which is only going to help you. But everybody, like I said, everybody has a little bit different makeup. That's one of the first things I learned when I went back to school for holistic nutrition, is how everybody's DNA is different and everybody's heritage is different. So there are people that are not going to be able to tolerate certain foods. And then there's others that they absolutely need, a certain diet based, because of their DNA and their heritage, from their ancestors. They've always eaten like this way. And I'm not saying that you can't make changes, but it just what's more susceptible in your body, and how your body is more prone to being able to or expecting certain kinds of foods, and so
Right.
on. It's like, and the best way I can explain this to people, if anybody's confused by what I just said, is think about somebody in Japan all of a sudden going and eating a Mexican diet, and vice versa. Those are pretty different
Mhm.
diets, because it's based on where they live, and then what their um, DNA, their ancestor DNA has been, and how they've eaten.
Mhm.
So it's just paying attention to those sorts of things as well. Paying attention to your body, and again, it just goes back to that mindfulness. So many people don't pay attention
Yeah.
to how they feel.
Right.
So
You're completely right. And that we all have a different gut microbiome that
yes,
breaks down our food differently. And
right,
those, neurotransmitters are reacting to what we're putting into our body. And so you'll feel that. We will all feel those differences if we just tap in. And it's
right.
just starting to recognize that. But yeah, there's no one set diet for anyone. There's no one set cleanse that's going to work for everyone. That, we're all going to react in our own way.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Namaste, Gary. Nice to see you. And thank you for sharing yesterday on Jess's show. I just want you to know I tuned in, and that was beautiful. So thanks for being here as well. And everyone that's tuned in, Lori, I didn't say hi to you. Thank you. And, everyone that has been on and that's commenting and interacting, we really appreciate it. And we have been talking today about mindful eating and eating more light, which I know Sri and Kira greatly suggests. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Sri and Kira, SriandKira.com, go there and check them out because they are incredible spiritual leaders, gurus, whatever you want to talk about, however you want to describe them. They're incredible, and they have so many different supportive programs and things on their website for you to help you to awaken, to help you as you try to live your most authentic life and figure out who you are. Remember who you are. Remember your magnificence. Remember that you have the divine within you. You are a spiritual being, and that we are all connected. And together we are better. And they are doing some amazing things. Go check it out. They have an incredible clinic that I'm so excited. In a month, I will be there, actually less than a month, to volunteer at the free pain clinic in Ecuador. And that's where Sri and Kara are located right now, is in Ecuador. And they are doing amazing things. So much to come. So check it out. Subscribe to Oneness Talk Radio. And check out other shows, because there's some incredible people out there and shows that are out there. And Sri and Kira are going to be starting a new one. And you're going to want to make sure that you're tuning in, because there's so much positive, supportive, and fantastic information, much like what my beautiful guest has shared with us today. Mm-hmm. So, Nicole, we don't have a lot more time. We've got about 5 more minutes. It always goes so fast.
Yeah, it does go really quick.
So, what would you like to share with people about either about your place, your restaurant, about juicing, about eating light, about your story, anything?
Sure. I can say something, of course, and I will, but if anyone does have any questions or things that they want to bring up before we kind of check out too, just feel free to put it in the chat and I'll see it as well. I think the biggest passion that I have is for helping people in their own path. And I'm sure that your group of people here are already well on their way to living, a whole well life in food and in exercise and mindfulness and what they're consuming on a mental level. So I know that everyone here would connect to that already, but just knowing that this is always a process, that life is always a process, and what we're learning and how we're treating our bodies and how we're fueling our bodies, it never ends. And so no matter where you're starting, whether that's just introducing juicing or just introducing even fruits and vegetables into your diet, or just starting to focus more on, anything that expands that more, whether, it's boosts and phytochemicals and gut microbial and all that, wherever you're at in that path, just to kind of accept that and I encourage all of you to continue going in that and knowing that it will always expand and grow. And I think with my staff, I always say we can pay for it now or we can pay for it later. And so the choices that you make now, they do matter, no matter what the choice is, how small or how big it is, they matter. And so I support and encourage all of you in where you're at in your journey, and hope that you keep making those little choices now that are going to matter in the end.
I love that. Yes, absolutely. You can pay it now or you pay. I know I talk to people about that, especially hydration and investing. People are like, oh, but it's so expensive to eat organic. It's it's really not, because if you think about how we were talking about how our bodies don't have that sensor. So we don't know when we're low on calcium or magnesium or potassium or sodium or vitamin A or vitamin B or vitamin D or whatever. We can go get blood tests to try and get those pinpoints and to see how we're doing. But our bodies don't have that sensor. And so it is a process, and it is important to feel our body with as healthy and light filled foods as possible for optimal health. You may think that that McDonald's burger is going to be a convenient, easy choice, and well, it's cheap, but it is setting your body up, and it might take 40 years, but it's setting your body up for not optimal health.
Right.
It's not supporting your health and wellness. And so you want to do things just like you're doing things to support your mental health, your spiritual health. Maybe you work out, but if you're not eating to support overall health, then you're setting yourself up for having issues. And I know because I lived it. If you don't know my story, I lived this for a number of years, which is why I'm so passionate about health and wellness and hydration now, because I went through a period where I became ill almost overnight with debilitating migraines and body aches and pains, and I was having all sorts of issues, and it came on seemingly overnight. And I was eating what I thought was well. I was working out, and so on. But come to find out, there were things I was consuming that was poisoning my body, and over time it builds up, and then all of a sudden you're not okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by, our bodies don't have sensors, which is why it's important that we invest every day in quality that comes into our body, like going to a place that like Nicole has, with healthy organic fruits and vegetables and food for you that you can grab conveniently, but and it's not overly expensive, and it's, you value your body, because believe me, I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in 3 years of my life going through tests trying to get well. And had I known what I know now, I could have prevented some of that.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you came on. I'll have to have you come back, because I can always go on and on and on when it comes to nutrition and mindful eating and all the benefits of everything that you offer at your place. And I'm just so grateful that you're there. I'm so grateful to know you, to have you as a friend. You're just such a bright, beautiful light. And I love everything that you're offering and doing, and it's inspiring. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Join me next week, where I will be back here live. And then in 2 weeks, I will have Lori Ellis again back on, who is also about health and nutrition and wellness. And she'll be talking about some cool hacks you can do to make it through the holidays and stuff. So make sure you join us then as well. But join me next week. Thank you, everyone. Love you. Sending you all so much love and light for this next week. Make sure you do some sort of ceremony on Saturday for the new moon solar eclipse, which is a big one, and release what no longer serves you. Lighten up by releasing some of that stuff, okay? and I want to hear about it. Message me, email me. I want to know what you've released and how your life is transforming, because I do believe that 2022 is going to be a phenomenal, amazing year for everyone if you choose it and if you let go of the old baggage. So love you all. Thank you again. And I'll see you all next week. Namaste. Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, thanks, everyone. See you soon.